It is time. It is time. I'm going to make sure that it went. That we are live. All right, it looks good. We are up and running for book club.
We're here.
For what's this month? August.
Yes. It doesn't feel like it's August, but it is.
No, I keep like even in videos and everything saying the wrong months. At one point, I feel like I should be saying it's June, but another part of me is like, it's October.
It's been a year of confusion.
Yes, but today we are going to be discussing The Lost Causes, and I have messed up this name 600 times, so I'm going to get it right. I always say Ashley instead of Alyssa. It's The Lost Causes
I thought it was
Alyssa,
Ashley.
Embree, Schwartz, and Jessica Koosed Etting.
See, that's a lot of names to be trying to remember.
I was actually going to mention that it's like you did the duo author thing, and now we're including middle names.
That's doing too much.
Right. There's a lot of names, and there's a lot of characters in this book.
Yeah. Like, I don't remember anyone's name. I remember Gabby and Justin, and that's it.
I told you right before this that I did write character names down.
Yeah.
So. Do you want to describe the book? Do you want me to describe the book?
The book was a lot. So these 5 teenagers get, injected with some serum, and they get like these powers and work with the FBI to solve pretty much a murder. And it was basically like a whole journey from there.
Right. So it's basically like a YA mystery paranormal. They are given abilities.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's not much to say about this book without getting into spoilers, I feel like. So do you just want to say what our ratings were, and then we can start talking about like each of these people, the abilities they got, the case, the drama of it all?
Yeah. So when I started the book, I was like, okay, this is fine for YA. And then I moved into the middle, and I was like, okay, I'm definitely not feeling this right now. And then we get to the end. I was like, okay, now I can give it 3 stars. So that is what I gave it.
Yes. And I did for once. I did tell Nessuh what I rated this before the live show, because I usually don't. But I also gave this 3 stars. But like, I felt at the end like it was like a high 3-star.
See, my compile
rating is pretty high. Right. So I think this is the first time that I've maybe enjoyed a book club book more than the person who picked it. But it still wasn't like amazing to me.
No, like it felt so cliche and predictable.
Yes. Ruby, I'm curious what you gave it, because I don't think that you rated it on Goodreads. I don't think I saw her rating. But I was going to say, too, that this is a pretty, like I'm looking right now. It only has, like, less than 1,200 ratings on Goodreads. And I was surprised for what it was that it actually has a 4.06 average rating.
Yeah, interesting.
Like, to me, anything else that I read, like, at this level, I would expect this to have, like, a 3.5 average rating.
Right.
I'm not sure how much you look at average ratings, but it interests me. I look at them a lot.
I don't care.
Ruby said, yeah, I didn't want to spoil, but I think I would give it 2 or 3 stars. Feels unfair to rate because I'm not the audience for this. So not my jam. I feel that too. I've said a lot recently with YA mystery that I don't like it, and it doesn't work for me, but I know that it works for so many other people.
Right. Like,
but this, I was actually surprised at how, like, I was kind of like, I was interested. I wanted to keep reading, which I think is why I enjoyed it a little more. There's definitely things as we continue to talk about this that I don't like.
Yeah.
But I was interested in it. I went through it fast. I wanted to know what was going to happen.
Like, I read YA mystery sometimes, but I don't know what it was about this one that I just wasn't feeling it.
Like, I just gave what I feel like is one of the most popular YA mysteries 2 stars,
Mm-hmm.
and this 3 stars. So I don't know what's going on. This did not work for Kayla. I just do not like YA. I don't care if I just resent teens or if it's left over from when I was a teen and also hated other teens. I feel like I've moved away from YA in general a little bit, but I still do like enjoy me a good YA. To me, it's the YA mystery, and that is one of the things I have for a negative for this book is just the believability. And that's my issue with a lot of YA mystery is like it would
just
not
didn't
be
feel
these
real.
No, these children would not be who is in charge of like
Right. Like helping the
doing this.
FBI.
Yeah. But I do think that this did something with like it being the FBI, but at the end the FBI really wasn't who was orchestrating this type of thing, but yeah. Okay, anything else you want to say before we start talking about these? The suspension of disbelief had to go too far.
Yes.
Before we talk about these abilities, I guess, is there anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, I'm hoping I got these right because I think I did. I did go back after the fact. I didn't write these down as I was reading. But also, I liked the concept of like how the kids were picked, like the whole like lost causes
that
concept.
Everyone had given up on them and like you guys are gonna save or figure out what's going on.
Right. I liked
interesting.
Like I liked honestly the beginning part when they were talking about you guys were all picked because your parents didn't respond.
Like everyone gave up on you.
Right, like some parents were like begging for their kids to be in this group, and your parents were just the ones who were like,
I don't care.
Didn't even see it, right? But at the same time, I feel like some of these, there wasn't enough proof that they were truly like, nobody's going to notice that weird stuff's going on. But whatever.
It was just like the little things that were missing.
Kind of, yeah. Which I know this author duo has written more books.
Have they really?
I'm looking to see if this was their debut. Yeah, they have other ones. But I'm not sure if this was the debut or not. I'm looking really quick. As quick as my computer will load. Yeah, they have quite a few.
I don't know. To me, it felt like a debut. Like they have a whole series, Georgetown Academy.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, but this felt like a debut book to me.
Okay, so it looks like the Georgetown Academy was first, but this is like the first. This looks like marketed different. Like maybe this was what was picked up. I don't know. And then they have this, and then they actually have a 2021 release. I'm seeing.
Interesting.
I literally have not heard anything about this book. It only has 172 ratings, and nobody on my Goodreads has even marked it as want to read. So, there's that. Okay, so with these 5 teenagers and what their abilities became, firstly, they all had like something wrong with them that was like mysteriously cured by the serum and drinking of serum injection. What did you think of that? So I wrote down, so I have Z or Zelda had just like depression. Gabby had OCD. Sabrina was the one who was like doing drugs.
Right.
Justin had a temper, and Andrew was like a hypochondriac.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea that this serum, I guess in a way, fixed them, even though I don't know if that's how I'd really describe it. But
right.
I do like the idea that the serum kind of made them better. But I wish like the science behind the serum would have been explained more, so that like I would have understood it more of like, okay, how is it that was possible? you know?
Yeah, I agree. I do think it is a weird thing too that it was the thing of like it would only work on teenagers, so that was the reason that like the people who created it couldn't just take it themselves, do it
Right.
themselves. Yeah, I don't know. I do think that the reason for it like curing them of things was also something that made it so you would believe that they didn't want a cure, like didn't want the antidote or whatever. Like they all were like okay with this weird ability because something that affected them so much was fixed.
Right. I don't know. I just wish that even like the kids would have questioned it more. Like, okay, what is it that you
Oh, yeah.
guys ingested me with, you know?
Right.
Like there just
Or
weren't
they were just
enough
like, okay,
questions being
I guess we have
asked,
these abilities now.
and we're just gonna roll with it. Like, no, I would have been asking questions like, okay, what is this? What, like, give me all the chemical breakdown, please. I don't know what it is, but I'd still like
Yeah.
to know.
Like that's back to the believability.
Mm-hmm.
And that's science.
Yeah. Like science was not my
Yeah, I guess
forte,
there was
but
like there's a lot of like holes in the plot and
mm-hmm.
holes in the science of
Yeah.
what was happening that I was just like reading through, having a decent time. I feel like there's a difference between mental illness and trauma, though, as far as how did they do it. Like in terms of those two things being like cured. I don't know.
Good. Especially the genius kid. What
The
was his name?
genius kid.
Andrew.
Andrew. Yeah, because to me, like there is a difference in some of these. Like to me, what I said of Sabrina just was like dependent on drugs,
Right.
versus to me like the OCD.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those are two
Like,
different
that's a huge
things
difference
to be cured.
Yeah. I don't just the explanation, like that's still just my thing from the beginning, was just give me some sort of explanation on it.
Yeah, it was not to be had.
Yeah. Like that was my problem from the beginning. It was like, okay, so what is this exactly?
Yeah. I also think that like the abilities that they were given were really different.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them I feel like are more valuable than others.
Yeah. I don't
Like
know
to
how much
me,
I'd want to talk to the dead.
I was just gonna say the ghosts thing. Don't want that.
No.
Which I do think that she's the only one who at the end was like, yeah, I probably would take the anecdote.
Yeah.
Before they found out it wasn't real.
Patricia.
But like, so the ghost thing and then the guy who was just like all of a sudden smart.
Yeah.
To me is different than the reading minds, the
Telepathy of sorts.
situation.
Yeah.
And what's his name being able to like move stuff with his mind.
Right.
To me, that's more like superpower. Being super smart is not a superpower to me.
It really isn't. Like I can go study and be super smart. Like
I'm not gonna do that either, but okay, what else do I write down here?
yes, because I wrote down nothing.
I know. Like the Nash and Patricia situation. One, for like most of the beginning half of the book, I was, and I think you're led to be this way, I was really sus of Nash.
Oh, absolutely.
But then as we got to the end and we're realizing that it probably was more Patricia than Nash, I was realizing how much she was just like absent.
Yeah.
Like she was put there and then gone, and then you're starting to realize that she's the one probably being shady.
Mm-hmm. Because Nash
and
was
they
always
haven't, like,
around.
said anything about her for a while.
Right. Like he was always around trying to help. And then Patricia was just like, I need you guys to go do this. We're waiting on this. I was like, okay. But yeah, I never suspected Patricia at all.
Until it was like put in front of you.
Yeah. I was
Right.
like, Nash is a little sus. He's too mysterious for me. He's up to something.
Yeah, I don't think enough was led. Like, I wasn't thinking anything about like the teachers till they were like, oh, it's probably a
Like, I
teacher.
never would have thought the teachers.
No, so I feel like some of it, like in a good thriller, there's like things that you can look back at that were like, oh, that was suspicious before it was just put in front of you. Yes, I thought they were in it together. Didn't think he could be innocent. Yeah, he was just like naive, which I think that goes to the discussion of like, what did you think about him being so young? Even though another big talking point I have at least is that he was not as young as somebody else.
Yes. Like they said this man was 22.
Yeah.
These kids are in high school.
So I do think like he was obviously, because I also have written down too the fact that they talked about Nash being like basically groomed to be in the FBI since he was like 10.
Yeah.
So like he's too young to do it. So then they're like, oh, but we knew he was going to be the FBI since he was like little because of the, wasn't that like the courthouse thing with his dad?
Yeah. It was like,
I don't
make up your
know.
minds.
Yeah, again, like I don't know. He was just naive.
Yeah.
But I feel like they were purposely making him seem young, but old enough to be in the FBI. But then he's like a whole star to me would be docked because of the like underage relationship.
Oh yeah. But also
like,
I just feel like they talked about Nash, but I feel like we still didn't know much about him. Besides he was young in the FBI and then later on find out his whole dad thing at the courthouse.
Yeah. I feel like he was put there to be the one that the like 5 kids trusted too. Like he was going to be close enough to be like relatable to them.
Right.
I don't know.
He wasn't my favorite even at the end, so.
No. So what I was going to say about the relationship too is it was so uncomfortable the whole time. And then they really like drove it home at the end.
At the end,
too.
yeah.
Like there was not like a this needs to not happen. It was like, no, now we can.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't like that at all.
Sweetie, no, you can't.
Like, what is she, like 17, 16, 17?
I don't think they ever said.
I don't think so.
Like, kind of
the only age we got was 22-year-old Nash.
High school. And then these kids are in high school. So to me, it's like, are we freshmen?
That's literally
are
like
seniors?
14 to 18. Tell me the age.
I don't think they ever said.
Yeah.
Or
I don't remember reading it.
Yeah. Especially after he was having moments with the ghost.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I was not feeling that at all.
Yeah.
I was like, every time I read it, like, when is this going to end? Because I do not want to read this.
This is a reason to me, too, that, like, although I had a decent time, like, throughout reading this and wasn't like, oh, that was such a slog to get through, I probably wouldn't recommend this book to anybody.
Oh, no.
And, again, why I'm so surprised how it has a 4.06 average rating. Because I read through some of the, like, Goodreads reviews, too. And some people were like, oh my gosh, I love this. This was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I saw
like,
one that was like a 5-star. And she was like, there was nothing wrong with it. And I was like, are you sure about that?
I saw
There's absolutely nothing wrong.
Perfect.
Okay.
But, I mean, I don't want to... Yeah, I'm going to say it anyway. Like, when I was in high school, I don't know. Like, if I read this as a teenager, I don't think that I would have been as grossed out by the age gap thing as I am as an adult.
Right.
So, like...
But as an adult, it's just, like, it's
icky.
questionable. I don't like it.
Ruby said I think she was 16. Right, so...
See, that's an issue for me.
That's 6 years. That's... child versus adult.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who paid you? For real, go if you read this, go read some of the Goodreads reviews. Like some people were really like
I'm gonna go through some later because I'm actually curious.
I mean, it is interesting because you definitely have like your one star, like this was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Also, but yeah, I guess. What did you think about like the actual mystery aspect? The Lily Carpenter,
The Sam, what was her name? Amy. I don't know. I mean,
right, the kid, the previous.
I mean, I liked certain parts of it. Other parts,
Mm-hmm.
it just felt like they came to this conclusion way too easy, you know. But
Yeah,
for it being a YA mystery, I mean, like it was fine, but like it definitely wasn't that good. Like I've read better.
yeah, I would say like I generally was not giving a care about that part,
Yeah, no.
but then at the end, like the last page or two, when is it? Zelda is talking to her dad. Is that the right
Mm-hmm.
character?
Yeah, it was Z.
Like that was interesting
Yeah, I was like, where
to
was those clues
me.
throughout the whole book?
Right, I feel like he was the only parent that was talked about like a little bit though.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't know.
Gabby's parents
Weird.
were talked about a little with how they were
And I
with
guess
her.
so was Justin's like
Yeah,
mom who brought the boyfriend home.
yeah,
Um but to me I guess like it was there were hints given that Z's dad was involved with Lily Carpenter.
right. I just
Right.
wish there was more of it so that it wouldn't have been like, where did this come from at the end?
Yeah, I don't know. It's making me think a lot more that there was a lot left
There was a lot
the
of the
plot
mysterious,
wasn't
right,
very
fully
solid.
written out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, like the characters too. I wish they had put more into the characters,
Yeah, there
especially
was just
like
a lot going on.
yeah, like when they were forming those relationships, like Justin and Gabby. It was like, oh, Gabby's cute. Oh, I think Justin likes me. Boom, we're together. And
I
I was like,
mean,
is that how relationships work?
like in high school. Yeah.
I mean, yes, but there could have just been a little more.
I do think it's interesting because it does talk a lot about how like it the first group of lost causes also
Mm-hmm.
where like everyone was like none of these kids have friends and now the five of these people are hanging out all of a sudden. And like
Right.
this group is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Where it's like not only did their parents not respond, nobody was like looking out or would be suspicious of anything. Like none of these people had like another friend who was like, "Why are you hanging out with these people all of a
People,
sudden?" Like,
right. I don't know.
which I don't think that's realistic.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I knew of anyone in high school who genuinely didn't have like one person.
Right. And like with Justin on the football team, it's like, how do you not have one friend?
Right,
Like, let's be real. If you're on the
right.
football team, you have at least one friend, if
The
not more.
star of the football team. Right.
Yeah, like there's no way.
I agree. I'm trying to think of everybody else. I can't keep the girls straight. Like looking at these names,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't
did find
know.
it interesting though that the football coach was one of the
Was like who
five.
blew it up.
Yeah, that was interesting because I thought he was just a regular old football coach. Didn't need to
Yeah,
remember him or
I was
anything.
more shocked by that than like I wasn't surprised at the reveal that I didn't write his name down. Devin, whatever they were saying his last name was.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't that surprised when the revelation that he was like not who he said he was.
Yeah,
I was
like
like,
I didn't
yeah.
care. I was like, let's get back to everyone else. I don't care about this.
Yeah, I wasn't shocked by that. But then
Mm-mm.
like I did think it was interesting to find out that like him and the football coach were like part of that initial group. But I also this is a big issue I had with The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've read that.
Nope.
But like in the end, there's like an investigation that I always say is like the worst search party of all time. Like just not a realistic like
way of doing it.
Where I think with this and how the kids died in the car and they were just like, yep, they must have all been in there. I don't think that's realistic.
Like, y'all would have investigated
there was 3 dead bodies and they were like, yep, must have been all 5.
Make it make sense.
Of these kids that we didn't even
don't
hang
care
out.
about.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. Does anybody else have any other comments or things that stuck out to them or plot holes they thought were really obvious or there's not much else to say about this book.
No.
Like it was what it was.
Yeah, like I went into it thinking, okay, this might be a good book. And like it was a fine book, but
I think the concept is interesting.
Yeah.
The execution was
I just don't think they fleshed out their ideas enough.
No, and I think I'm always curious how does an author duo work?
Yeah.
Like how are you writing this? Because in this I definitely don't think it's like I wrote this character, you wrote this character.
Right, especially considering it's in third person. That would have been
I don't get how that even works.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be amazing. Boy, was I wrong.
Weren't we all wrong?
The synopsis got me like reading a summary on Goodreads. Every sentence was like, wait, what? I don't know. Okay, well, shall we? I guess that next month will be on Ruby's channel. She's in the chat here. Her channel is Ruby Red. And we are reading Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which I think will be fun. I think it's something. Yeah, I think that's something really different than anything else that we've read. And Ruby and I discussed tentatively a date for that live show, and we're thinking the 19th, but nothing set in stone. Obviously, stuff that's a long ways away, stuff could pop up. But we're thinking the 19th. And I guess what I know of that book is that it is, I mean, I don't know much about Shakespeare. It's obviously somewhat Shakespeare inspired related. I actually asked someone I know who read that book that was like, do I need to be familiar with Shakespeare or like do I need to be familiar with Hamlet basically? And they were like, no. But my understanding of this is it's going to be like a discussion of like a marriage through the loss of a child.
I'm excited to read that one.
Is my understanding. But yeah, it has like really high ratings. Everyone I've seen that has read it has loved it. So I'm hoping to love that one.
Yes,
I really am.
My copy's coming in next week, so I'm excited.
Yes. And then, I mean, I've been doing like 3 in a row and then taking a month off. So after September, then we'll have a month off before I do November, December, January.
Yes.
So that's what's in store for book club. I have Nessuh linked below. I linked your Twitter and not your channel because you have been absent. But
gone.
I did link Ruby's YouTube channel, I believe. So that's what's in store.
Yes.
This was a good month. I had a good time reading this. Probably it looks like the best out of anybody. Like I said, I probably still wouldn't recommend this, but oh well.
No.
But it was great seeing everybody today, and hopefully we'll see you next month for Hamnet. Okay, bye.